biggest one was the line item in the sheriff's 105597.
Yeah, equipment, 36,000, I think we put 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm trying to find that page where you, maybe it's on here, you explain everything. What was it last year?
You know, 18 budget.
So you got it right here.
Which one are we looking at, equipment?
Yeah.
For 36?
I think last year we had $10,000. Is that what it was? So what was the increase for?
Well, the paper that I gave you attached to the budget told you that according to the union contract, every 5 years we have to buy new bulletproof vests.
Okay.
And you want me to hire that third deputy for the interstate, so all the equipment I needed for that was in that line item. And if I don't buy those vests, we're gonna get grievance filed on us by the union and they'll win.
Is that the one that we're trying to get the grant on? Christie's working on?
There'll be another grant if we can get it, but yeah, I'll apply for that later in the year.
Would that offset that money some or?
Half.
Is there anywhere else in the budget we can move it around a little bit, or does it need to be in that line item?
It's gotta be in that line item.
Okay.
Sheet.
You was talking about.
Yeah, the sheet that I normally give you details each and every line item right
Right.
there. And there was one, let's see, the equipment maintenance, training, uniforms, all those were increased to allow for that third deputy. All the line items were cut. So I've hired him, but I don't have the money now to outfit him.
Talking about that, it's $4,000. That's how much it's gonna cost to, you said, you requested 14, but we put 10,000 down for uniforms.
Yeah. I mean, the cost of uniforms for everybody else is going up, but I had to add him to it. Same thing with training. All the dues, all the training we have has gone up. 105525 printing and publication. I asked for an extra $2,500 to pay for the tickets that we're using to ride on the interstate. That was cut. If I don't have the tickets, I can't ride them. And the auto expense. You know, last year I carried over $26,000 in unpaid bills, and they still cut me. This year I asked for more money for auto expense for gas because the other deputy, and I still didn't get it. I still carried over $10,000.
So auto expenditure still went 105.
I wouldn't need it. I mean, I added money to that line item twice last year just to keep me within the budget.
Okay. Uniforms, 14,000. Training was 13,500, we put 11,500.
Usually the only thing that I'll save money on is, you know, the utility line item. That's what I use to switch around. But these figures I gave you are going to be close for all of them.
What did we put you down as equipment? Where do you want it, 36, what was that?
It's going to take 36.
No, I mean, what did we put it down on?
10,000.
10, oh. Yeah.
I think the reason we put that is because last year we had 10,000, the year before we had 12,000. The year before that we had 12,000.
The problem with that was, Jason, even though you gave me 10 or 12,000, I carried over 4 or 5 and then paid bills. So I only had like 5,000 to spend.
Okay.
And that vehicle line item, the 9,000 that you cut me was the 9,000 I was going to use for that grant if I got it.
Okay. All right, we'll make those changes. How about with the jail?
I mean, jail,
It's okay.
it was okay.
All right, yeah, because we trimmed some off of it.
You knocked the utilities down 10, which is okay, because we were always way under on that.
Yeah. We went 5,000 we reduced on jail medical supplies and 3,000 on 106668. That was it.
I think a lot of that's gonna, of course, if you're gonna hire Tim, that will help those line items, because he can do a lot of maintenance.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll make changes to those and to those budgets.
Where it goes.
Anybody heard from Southern Five about where they were at on that grant process?
Well, everything was held up because of the government shutdown. And I know Christie's working on it, so they have a meeting tomorrow night. That board does. So
The problem that we had here as far as the paperwork, has that been,
Christie's been working with the accountants on that to make sure the paperwork's done, but I haven't talked to her about it.
because I think the grant for the vest will open up in April, and we'll apply for that as soon as we can.
Right.
And that's, they're gonna check that.
Yeah, and that's why they're trying to get all these questions answered before they apply for it, so that way there's not no issues from the government on it.
Okay.
So that's why she's doing that. So it was 4 accounts, right? The equipment, the uniforms, the auto expense, and training.
Training,
Yeah, okay.
And the printing and publication.
Oh, we took it down to 1,000.
That's the line item I used to buy my tickets out of. Get 1055, 56 dollars cents.
80 to 105.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that 1055.12.
10 to 14.5.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was the reason on that? Is it, you already talked about that?
That's like the radios that went in the car, his gun, the bulletproof vest that we had to buy, his equipment for him. That's what I got, equipment maintenance. That should be. Tim's, was it $14.42 an hour is what you wanted to start him at? Maybe 30,000 budget.
It's 30,000, about 2080, I'm not sure what that is. Okay.
When did you want him to start?
He started in February the 25th or 8th, whatever, the next 2 Mondays from today. 25th.
As far as his duties and stuff, I mean, you guys sit down with him and he knows what he's got to do, or?
Well, I mean, I talked to him, but it's something that all of us can talk to him. I mean, he'll answer to you, right? So, but I mean, working upstairs is his priority, right?
Well, courtroom,
Yes.
yeah, but if he's, well, I don't think he'll be ready to start up there, will he?
The Arch courtroom?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's dry. I don't know why he couldn't start up there.
Well, I guess you could, they'll be right there beside that elevator where you're gonna run that ductwork down through there, boy, but now he could work up that.
But I mean, all the windows he's going to have to work around,
Yeah.
paint, I mean, that whole courtroom's gotta be redone.
What we're gonna do as far as line items for equipment and supplies?
We're gonna use that courthouse renovation fund.
Okay.
There should be enough money in there.
I think it'd be a good idea, all four of us sit down and kind of get a plan on where we're gonna start and what do you want him to do.
Okay. I think the whole top floor needs to be a priority. And if anything comes up with little jobs, he can just break off and do those.
They close, I don't know if we need to strip out first before you get started.
I don't know, I mean, scaffolding in there.
Well, what about this office on the end for Patrick?
I'm meeting later on today, the general contractor, they're gonna try to fix that ceiling, and then a carpet cleaning company's gonna clean that carpet. That's all Patrick said. Now, we went in there, it's all been cleaned down in there this last week.
You gonna keep the drop ceiling, or are you gonna take it out?
We're gonna try to keep it. They're gonna try to fix it.
So they gotta redo it.
Yeah, because it's like falling, they're going to rewire it up there, hook it. It's all kind of, so,
Jason, do you think that guy will need a transportation for the headlands and,
I'm not sure. I don't know what it's,
well, might give a gas allowance like Quentin and
yeah,
he drive his own vehicle?
yeah, I don't know.
Let me try to call him and see if I can get him in this week.
Yeah, actually, when I talked to him last week, I said the week before, so if you can get in with the county clerk and start getting your information so they can start getting payroll set up and insurance and all that stuff.
He quit that other job.
Yeah, he was going to give him a notice. That's what he planned on that.
Okay. I'll call him today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
About 10 minutes ago. Holiday? How much is on this?
78.
Sandy said the performance food people have cut John off again. I don't know how much we owe him.
Performance. It wants 365. Where'd you get that performance, Ted? Big John's or Save a Lot?
Performance Foods, one of those truck deliveries.
Is it?
For food.
I see one on January 8th.
There's 4 on the second page. One on the back page and one on the front, so 6, at least 6 of them. They're not big.
So they're not big at all.
$500-600 a piece.
And that was a stack of stuff to be paid that Jody gave us, but then. So.
solar lights up there. And one from December on the front page. 47.
Usually until it gets to about 12, they won't say nothing. Maybe 8,000 for them.
We're getting close.
They said there was a lot of rain last week. We had any water issues in the building?
That's how I was told.
Well, the only issue we had, I think it was like the day before I left, they were maybe still working on the heat at the annex. I'm assuming they got that fixed.
I haven't heard anything about it. Who was working on it?
Reed.
We just signed a thing where they had to reset it. It said courthouse, didn't say annex, but it was, showed where they had to reset it, and then they turned it back on and ran it through its paces, and everything worked. So it was a couple $100, wasn't anything out of the ordinary. Just didn't say where it was at, so I figured it was down there.
Yeah, I knew they were up there like Thursday and I thought Friday too.
They said they'll keep an eye on it, make sure nothing happens, but there wasn't anything wrong. For some reason, they said to reset a breaker or something, and then
Anything else?
Right now, that's what all I know.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
You can have this one if you want it.
So we got, is it 59,000 after payroll?
Yes. Those items that are on there have not been posted into the county general yet, but they will be. JJ is not here, she's sick.
So you're talking about 23,000 hasn't been put in?
Right, and those,
26,000 and 20,000?
yes,
So 20, 40, 60. It's about 70,000 added to that 59?
no,
No.
that 59 is what you got, it's about,
Okay.
yeah. I have got this bill that I received. I think I showed it to you the other day. I'm not sure if I did or not, but I need to find out. If you want me to ask the circuit clerk about that.
Yeah, I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
You was going to ask the circuit clerk.
Yeah, and I've got this for Williamson County. It's going to go
Okay.
through.
Okay. For
I talked to-
probation?
I talked to Josh the other day about this. I do not have the paperwork from Josh. Does he have the paperwork? I'm guessing, maybe?
Just have to check with him. I don't know.
Okay, all right. But that's going through today. And that'll be part of that,
Okay.
okay? And I have a big postage bill that's gonna go through.
So, County Clerk, can I go ahead and pay about 40,000 in bills or what?
Deduct this 11,000 for probation
There's
first.
at least 49,
And
48.
there's some, I've got a big postage bill that's gotta come out of there for those certified letters.
How much does that run?
That's gonna be at least 3, if not a little bit more.
Okay, so that puts us about 45.
I pulled a bunch of bills the other day to be paid, and I told Christina that, to wait to see what else has to come out before we pay all those. But there's some that's to be pulled, to be paid rather. And they're mainly, phone bills, light bills, some that are pretty well old. Oh, and I put a Tyler Tech bill in here too.
Let's see
Did you
that.
talk to Jeremy?
That right there is
Yes.
what we talked about earlier. That says general up there. Do we need to change that?
No, it comes out of general fund.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did, when you talked to Jeremy, the $18,800,
Yes.
is that been coming out? That, torque fund? Okay. Have you been able to reimburse back into general fund that 24,000?
Yes,
Okay.
we did. We did that the other day.
Okay. When's the tax sale again? First of March? March 8th.
The Friday at the meeting I was at, the Joseph Meyer, they will be here to take care of auditing and all that.
And Jeff Schroeder got hold of you Friday, postponed that.
Yeah, he did.
How?
I'm just waiting on those.
How are you?
Hello, Miss Chloe.
That's us right there. Lori, you come on up if you want. Jeff, or Gerald, I think Joey's got some claims in there she's just gonna sign for.
I got to see your little girl yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
I taught her in Sunday school.
Oh, yeah, she went to Waldo. didn't
Yeah,
she?
with Natalie,
Yeah, yeah.
so it was a good time.
Good.
Sign that one, Jason. Do I need to sign that one, or is that just for you?
You can go ahead and sign as you want to, if you want. Skylar done pretty good.
Yeah, he's still working at Midland, so,
He's working where?
it's next to EEI.
Okay.
They unload and coal and all
Yeah.
that dirty stuff.
Good.
He drives trains, and so he's still out there.
Good.
How's Noah?
He's doing pretty good. I went and had dinner with him last night. He's doing okay.
Is he at SIU?
Yeah.
At least that's not too far away.
No. Try to see him, once every couple of weeks. if we
Yeah.
can.
shape, I think.
Feel like we need to spray.
Yeah, you probably need to spray them.
Christina's sick today.
Oh, no. Well, you know, I thought she didn't seem like she felt very well when she came in this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, bless her heart. Is it flu? Hope not.
I don't know.
She was over when I come in, she had her jacket all up, had it zipped up. I said,
Oh, no.
"You
That
cold?"
flu
She-
type A is going
You
around.
cold? She said,
Because JJ's sick too.
Is she here today now?
No.
JJ looked sick Friday.
Yeah, I seen her Friday, she
really
looked
did.
bad.
And
there you go.
Christina was over there Friday, so I hope.
Oh, no.
But I'd say that's
I
fine.
need to take some of that Tamiflu.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no lie, we all be now.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Laura.
guys.
See you.
Hey, are we gonna have that meeting later today on the website deal, or?
Probably not, because now this is gonna last till at least 11:30 probably. I sent out an email Friday. We're gonna try to do it Wednesday. And then I found out Jason can't make it, but
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and have it and get with you all some other time.
Okay.
And we'll work with
I don't think I got your email. What time Wednesday?
I had to send it from a different, I had to sit at a different desk Friday because my computer's down. Oh, I realized that just went to Jason. Oops. 10:30.
Is there any information you want me to prepare, or, I mean, I don't even know, is it just a discussion on having a website, or
Right.
trying to build one? 'Cause I don't have one at all. I thought about trying to get one many times, but not 100% sure of all the information that I would include on it, other than just contact information, but seems like everybody knows that already.
See, I hit reply all and it just goes to Jason. I don't know if she wants doing that. There we go.
Rough road, probably good shape after the rain.
I think so. No.
I know there's some messes out there.
Yeah, I guess the river's gonna be coming back up to
It looks like, I don't know how it couldn't.
47 and a half on the Paducah gauge, which is pretty high.
Yeah, it rained all night last night, it's supposed to rain all night tonight, just north of us, east of us, west of us, everywhere of us.
I think one of them has that letter. Where's that letter at? Oh, Joe has it, or Gerald.
I've got them.
I think I gave it to Jeff.
letter that he had written to the state senator.
I've never seen it, Jerry. Mr. Blaze, here somewhere.
There was two of them there.
Is it right?
I've never seen it. I read the email, but I haven't seen the
I
letter
don't
itself.
think it's in there, unless it's in there by mistake.
I gave it to Gerald, I didn't know. Chance to read it.
Unless it's in this.
I haven't seen it.
I'm not sure if I laid it there.
You may have, but that's where you can see it. So.
I think it got moved into some other stuff.
You must have.
Well, that was similar to what I had given the information on back around the beginning of the year. And it's just-
Here's Farmer Company.
That one.
Yeah, but no, it's the
Oh.
one that you, it was that letter that you did that you put our stuff at the top. I gave it to Gerald.
Evidently went out and something else.
I think it's in the middle of those bills over there. If not, she can make prints and nothing off.
This. Might have got put in the, did you go through the, did you look in the?
Yeah, I didn't see it in there. Here, I'll just go print another one off.
All right, thank you. Sorry for that. You put on your list, Kikasola Road does not have a sign. Go down Unity School Road, you turn there, on that gravel road to
Street
the
name
right.
sign?
Yeah. I'll tell, well, I guess you can tell Abby then.
Yeah, I don't know where our last.
Someone has made a sign and nailed it to the tree right there at that corner. Homemade sign.
That one must be getting stolen because we just did that one not too long ago.
Okay.
But there always seems like getting stolen or whatever, but, cause that's the corner there where there's 4 different road names going in each direction.
Yes.
You know, there's Unity going one way, Holman Lake going the other, Burke Medley going one way, and Kikasola going the
Yeah.
other. So, I'm not, you know, the beginning of last year, or the year before that, we had all 4 of them up, I remember, but,
Well, the only one that's missing now is Kikasola.
so, okay.
Yeah, I drove out there yesterday.
We had a batch, well, right when we picked up that last batch from Abby, I gave her another letter right then with several others on it. I don't know where she's at on that. I hadn't heard anything. I hadn't been pressing them, so.
Do you want to talk about the letter, then we can sign it, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a follow-up to the information that I presented to y'all around the beginning of the year about potential highway bill coming out. There's more talk of it here that they may be trying to present something and vote on something to get another highway bill out. And the revenue committee of the IAC, which I'm a part of, you know, they're trying to make a push to kind of inform our legislators and try to gain their support on doing something so that there is a component to that highway bill that increases our normal everyday funding for road maintenance. You know, if they just allocate a pot of money and say it's for specific special projects only, that's not really going to help us out on normal everyday roads. So that's the purpose of this. And since I'm part of that committee and I've been to the meetings and worked with this guy, he was wanting me to put together, you know, some information specific to our county to reach out to Senator Fowler particularly because he had talked to Senator Fowler in something up in Springfield that they had a couple weeks ago. And he thought it would help if that senator had some information from somebody, a county specifically in his district. So I already had all this stuff put together pretty much. I just kind of made some maps and refined the information a little bit. So that's where we're at. Supporting documentation is basically the same sheet that I showed you all about, you know, how much we project that we need on an annual basis to keep maintaining our roads properly, and what this proposed increase of this amount would give us. And I made some maps to go along with it. So that was one of, Craig Fink is the guy I'm talking about. He's the county engineer of Tazewell County. He's kind of the head of this committee. He thought that the maps would help, especially the legislators, see picture-wise what it would represent. And this is kind of, you know, the orange and red kind of shows the amounts of roads currently that we can't afford to have full maintenance on because of the amount of money we get. If we got this additional funding that IACE is trying to ask for, it would turn into this over here. We would have a lot of, so, I mean, although this does not represent, these are the roads we're maintaining, this is just percentage-wise as far as the amount of roads we have as to what we could cover, you know. So, it's just...
Make a huge difference regardless.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically tripling our money from what we're asking for. I sincerely doubt that any kind of bill that they propose will have that level of funding to it, but, you know, telling them that this is what it could be and this is what it is now, I mean, it might make them realize that, hey, well, you know, if we don't do something significant, this, you know, our infrastructure might go down pretty quick, you know. So, along with the letter, I was going to send him these 3 items so this doesn't overwhelm him with too much information.
Sign this.
Do we just sign it, and it don't really need to be a motion, it's just a supportive letter?
Yeah, it's the letter to try to gain their support. I mean, you know, the head of the committee, he suggested I follow up with Patrick again on the same information.
Gerald sign it as well.
So we might think about the same packet, sending it to Patrick as well, even though I already went over it with Patrick. It's just something he'll have hard copy that, you know, when they start talking about this in session, that he can have the information there in front of him too. So. One other thing I had was that resolution we talked about last week, requesting the consent to, or IDOT's consent to reappoint me as county engineer. I revised the copies to reflect today's date. If you want to look at it again, I need to, if you vote on it, yes, I need to get all 4 copies back, because I need to send in, send in 2 to IDOT. I'm going to keep one. I can leave one with Haley too.
then?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution requesting consent to the reappointment of the incumbent as county engineer. Okay, you want to call a roll on that?
Roll call, Jason Farmer,
Yes.
Jeff Berger,
Yes.
and Gerald Childers.
No.
Then we need to sign one of these.
I don't know, is it just her? That's all you need, is her signature?
Yeah, and staff.
Okay.
You need this back. Give them all the
Yeah, I need to get, I'll leave a copy with you if you want it for the files down here.
But you gotta send two in,
But I gotta
right?
send two, and I'll keep one for my file.
If you want to take them over there, then you can see them.
Hey, here it is.
We'll keep it for our copy.
Gerald was right, he put it under my stack there, somehow I got mixed in with that.
I laid it down and you just picked it up.
I must have threw something over. I looked through it twice, didn't see it. Gerald was right once again.
Hard to believe it.
It's getting old.
Yeah. It won't get any better.
So what are you guys working on today?
Oh, I'm sure they're working on some
Flooding.
washouts and things of that nature. I know we had a lot of calls last Thursday about trees being down and limbs being, because of that storm that came through. And so for Friday, we're working on part of that as far as the washout part of it, the heavy rain and everything. It's caused some things to go bad.
As wet as it is, a big windstorm and knocked some trees over.
It would. The root system getting weak.
Good part about it this time of year is that, there's no leaves on it.
Yeah.
Cuts down on the drag. I think I've got everything. I was gonna tell you, I talked to Mr. Vogt, and I think he's gonna go ahead and do that.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, he told me that'd be all right. Appreciated the fact that just charging the material cost on it and we can cover the rest, so I guess he's gonna do it well.
That's pretty good distance with it.
2,250 feet.
Yeah.
Pretty good distance.
So I'm gonna go see him and give him the details on it here maybe sometime soon. I mean, we can't do it for, until the summertime anyway.
Yeah.
It's nothing pressing that we have to get lined out right now, but he wants to go ahead with it. Any other items, I guess, or I'll be on the way if not.
No.
Don't have anything. Thank you, Joe.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
Judy, how are you?
I'm good.
You got that folder for these bills?
Oh,
Right there.
Oh.
thank you.
You wanna come on up?
Is this gonna be closed session?
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah, we'll make a motion to go close. 101 West 8th Street for $1.4 million, that's the annex building. And then 802 Ferry Street, down to $7,500, it's a house with a one single eye. I can get a motion to,
I make a motion to renew both of those.
okay,
Second.
okay. Roll call on that as well.
Jason Farmer,
Yes.
Jeff Berger,
Yes.
Gerald Childers.
Yes.
Sure. You can sign that too if you can. I'll give it to Sue. We'll come on up.
So, last week was an interesting week for assessor's office. I don't know if you guys heard, we got hit with ransomware on the property tax server. Don't know how much they wanted, but they wanted us to pay by bitcoins and email them, and however long it took for us to reply, they was going to turn around and be higher. But we was able to save it. It's back up and going, so we're going forward. I had to purchase basically antivirus for the server. Put that in place. It'll help from any more ransomwares.
That's, we're protected now.
Yeah, the antivirus is in place. The firewall, I'll be putting that in tonight because I don't need to do it in the daytime and bring down everybody. So it'll be put in place. So the next thing is right now I'm going to work on a trial for our backup. They did lose a lot of their office documents, not property tax wise, but their inter-office, like their budget stuff, all that. It was all encrypted. They lost it. So going forward, I have a trial right now for backup where everything is backed up on that server. And the thing is, it's going to cost, once it gets out of that trial period, it's going to cost. And right around $1,000 a year to have for the backup. And that is unlimited servers, unlimited computers, anything that's on, we need to back up, we will be able to back up to it. Back up to the cloud. The thing is, it's something we need to do, we need to look at, because if we don't, and we get hit again, which we shouldn't, but you know, they're ever changing their ways. I got off the phone with the property tax guy, the software guy this morning, and he said Heartland County, Pulaski County, and the city of Atlanta, Georgia got hit as well. So they're looking at for county entities to hit, because it's somewhat easy money, because some of them, you know, don't go on that far security-wise. So
So for $1,000, that's
for the backup, for backup wise, it'll be back up every day. I mean, right now I've got my server for EMA, the server down in the assessor's office. It's currently backing up, and of course the state's attorney out in the office, I know they have a lot of documents there. They have paper copies to back up everything, but still, when you lose all the digital stuff, your scanned documents, I know for the county clerk's office, you know, things that they have, we can all set up for backup. Eventually, I'd like to have everybody put a server in play that everybody will have their own files on, and then we can just back up that server. So if a workstation was to go down, like Haley's went down on Friday, that was the power supply, but it was the power supply and the motherboard, so we're going to have to replace the whole computer. It was toast, and it's not the first time. Abby, who does the 911 size for the county road department, she's had issues with hers. I had to fix it, but fortunately, it was able to be fixed. They have to replace it, but when we have workstations go out, it'll be easier. They can just pull from the server and it's back in service. So we need to look at in the future. I mean, not right as we do right now, but some of our future plans we need to try to look at. But and also patch management. You know, like when you have the updates for like Adobe Reader, Google Chrome, your Windows updates, things of that nature. There's patch management software out there where I can install these agents on all the computers that the county has. I can send remote updates to all of them to make sure that they stay up to date like they're supposed to. And then that is for a year for up to 50 devices. For the basic, it's $1,200 a year. So we wanted to look at that too. I mean, I know this is probably some new. I don't think the county's ever done that before on a lot of this stuff, but these are things that we need to safeguard ourselves. I mean, we've been hit. We're fortunate. I was able to get everything basically back in service for us. And it's a scary thing because somebody was able to get in and lock it all out. I mean, a lot of times I could usually unencrypt the files. This time I couldn't. Couldn't save anything. So I had to wipe it all down and start from a clean slate. Over the weekend, though, I did a lot of work on this on our server. It's secure, it's locked down. We're good to go forward. So that is for the IT side of it. Jeff here is when you sign up for that's your gift card for landline. Haley gave yours, Gerald gave yours the other day, and I gave yours, Jason. You go to any landline, like if you go to stuck at a gas station or whatever, your cell phone ain't working for whatever reason, you guys follow the directions on the card, and you'll be put in line with everybody else, especially if you get a busy signal, because everybody's trying to make a phone call. Just follow the instructions and you go forward. I know it's years, I think it was the star 272 or something like that. You would dial the sequence on your cell phone. You can do that too. Get ahead of everybody else in line. So I've got them all. I got cards ordered for the sheriff's office, and then got a couple other cards I gotta give out. But we got that. Our interoperability 800 program with McCracken County. We've got our portables in from Texas First 2A. We can now speak with McCracken County now going forward. ISP donated some of their older Starcom radios to us. They donated 3 Starcom radios. Each radio brand new when they purchased them was $4,600. So we got them for free. Those will be installed at some point. It'll just take time amongst all the other little things that we're doing for emergency management. Got a new member signed up last night. His name is Vincent Bushclaw. I think it's how you say his last
Goes
name.
by Paul.
Paul Bushclaw. He lives here in Metropolis, but he's on. He's search and rescue, been to a few search and rescue classes, so.
Does he still work for DirecTV or?
Comcast.
Comcast.
Yeah, that's what he was in. His wife may be looking to join us. So, I submitted week before last our Q1 reimbursements for EMPG. Even though our grant's not been approved, we can still submit it. They're still going through that long. I talked to Chris Pullen, and he said there'd be no problems. It's just, how they are up there. Slow. With the rain, they're looking at last night when I last checked it. I haven't checked it this morning. We're looking at the river to get up to around 47, 48 feet. It's going to get up to around 53 feet in Cairo. We're going to go ahead and Brian, he is going to get in contact with City of Brookport today to see where they stand at and if we need to go ahead and get pumps on standby for them. As for the rest of the county, we're readily accessible to sandbags and some sand from when I talked to Chris Pulley this morning. So, any questions for us?
How about on the judge's internet?
Judges, I've got most of the orders in. I'm still waiting on the other part of it. I I'm going to do that when I do the rack and all that at night. So, but I do need to get a key to the annex at some point. And I did have the Wi-Fi adapter for here, the Wi-Fi stuff for here. It's just getting, installing it and setting it up. But, anything else, guys?
Thank you.
The contractual, where in case something goes wrong with it, they work on it.
For
fix
what,
it.
for how long?
I think it was 5 years.
Okay.
Maybe it was 10 years. We can ask on that.
All right, that's found. Where would that go at? The basement?
No, it was up in the large courtroom. As you walk up there to the far right, remember water was coming down on it in the large courtroom. Back there, if you go to the area where they can have comfort, where
Yeah.
they talk to somebody.
Oh, that's that panel there.
Yeah, it's locked out. It's got I think we had Reed to lock it out for us.
Yeah.
Just
That
turned
had
off.
something to do with power going in the treasurer's office.
Yeah, it was, because we had to rewire it after that.
So they're gonna replace it and they want 2,500?
Yes, that's what they're at.
All right, these vestibule, that's the 3
Yes.
doors.
Yeah, and they'll have, well, I understand they'll have some windows in it so you can see through it.
Yeah, that's probably not too bad. I gave Barnhill 5,700 to do that one there in the center.
The wood doors, or are you talking about the exterior?
No, that with the wheelchair ramp.
Yeah.
You remember when we put those new doors in there?
But these vestibule doors are just the wood doors, so they can be shut.
They're wooden?
Well, the ones we have out here are wood.
Uh-huh.
I think the ones that they're designing is gonna be similar to that.
But they won't be aluminum?
I don't think so. We can ask today. I don't remember on the scope of it.
All right,
We
now-
just wanted to be able to shut both of those doors so the heat and air would be
I know.
better inside
I
the
know.
hallway, yeah.
Now, the painting on that ductwork, 5,000.
Remember, that's what Jeff asked on, to get that in there, the alternate. That way it's not just stainless looking or whatever.
Gives us an option if we want to do it or
So
not.
now, what, will that be just on this floor, or?
It'll be from the doors.
I think it'd be all.
I think it'll be all throughout, yeah, the way it's set up, but, you know, everything will be.
Black or-
Yeah, and the only reason we decided to get that option on there is because of we're gonna put the false ceiling in, but we don't know how long that's gonna be before we get it done, so
Right.
we all decided that just to get an option on there for 5,000, which is a, fairly minor option to make it look better until we get the false.
Or, I mean, if y'all want it painted the same color as these walls, I don't know what you call that, kind of.
Well, it's
Whatever.
time, I guess one of Johnson's first thing will be to get that large courtroom fixed.
Yeah.
It's gonna take him a long time to do that work, I would think.
Yeah.
Because you got those little rooms in the back, they're all falling in. And then the big room out
You're
there.
talking about the ceiling is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus the walls.
A lot of the work is just around the windows.
I know.
Just fixing all that.
Mhm.
He's up starting February the 25th.
I was gonna ask if we had to
On
start
Monday.
there.
Johnson is?
Yeah.
Is he coming to talk to us, or? what's
Well,
his-
we all talked about it, and I talked to him.
Well, I don't even know him, so we I
Okay. I thought you,
I think I did.
I thought you met him.
Did he have on orange shoes?
I don't know.
I didn't recognize him. Well, I'm sure I'll get a chance to talk to him.
Yeah. Did you all see the contingency in there? 100,000. So that's basically if we run across something on page 3, if we run across something that we didn't foresee happening.
It gives us 100,000 allowance.
Yeah. Similar to, remember where that guy wanted the contingency to do the windows because of asbestos on the first phase? So that's under 4.3 on page 3.
Turn that page there. It's not even part of it. Right down here. What he's talking about.
The contingency, so if we run across something, that's part of it.
If we don't use it,
Yeah, but typically these contractors always try to find a way to use it.
they'll find a way to use
I mean, you just got to
it.
battle.
Everybody uses it, just throw it in there on the counter.
Yeah.
Now, when are they gonna use that?
Only if they run across something that we don't
What they
foresee, like something is not something we
They'll use it before the end of the job.
Yeah. Sure, they'll find some reason
They can
to.
have that extra 100.
They should be here shortly, and we can meet them. Tomorrow, he's gonna come here to pick up this contract, and take us out to lunch if we're around, so.
I can't.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
I put everything off, I
Yeah.
swapped everything from today until tomorrow.
is the contractor coming tomorrow also?
He thinks he is. So what he was gonna do is just call the contractor until the contractor come tomorrow. I'll give him one of these originals, and then he's gonna take that contractor out to lunch, and if any of us wanna go out to lunch at 11 o'clock, we can tomorrow. If you're around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're meeting with, well, I gotta pick up my boy from preschool.
Okay.
And then we're meeting with the cleaners after that. So,
Going there after I leave here today.
the cleaners,
Gotta drop something off.
here before long, you can drop it off on Fifth Street.
That'd be great, because I got to. Basically, I just need a motion to accept the contract with Heartland Mechanical Contractors for Phase 2 of the renovation project for the courthouse in the amount of $1,051,800 is the cost of the second phase of the renovation.
I make the motion to accept the Heartland Mechanical
I'll say.
contractor. for $1,051,800.
All right. Gerald second that, and we'll call roll on that as well.
800 is less.
Yeah, $1,051,800.
Roll call, Jason Farmer,
Yes.
Gerald Childers,
Yes.
Jeff Ritter.
Yes.
Should be, I think, 3 or 4 copies. We just need to sign them all. We'll keep an original, or KW get original, and then we'll give the contractor original. I think it's on page 8.
Tear this out and sign and tear it out, or
I think we'll just keep it all together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just leave mine out here then.
Okay.
I just sign above that owner.
Above your name
I
there.
signed to the right of it.
To the right.
I signed to the right by accident. Oh. Supposed to print it, that's that too. Supposed to print it.
There's, I guess I'll print inside. Oh, is that the printed name above it?
Yeah, I think it's already typed in.
I went in and printed it. Oh, well. I did both. I'm super official.
But above and beyond.
Yeah.